Welcome to Game 1 of the Starcross Cup Championship. This is going to be NA champions Dusty and Honeynuts, Team Rainbow Hamlet, versus EU champions Zartcloud and Vipix, Jaeger. So this should be an excellent series of games. For the finals, we are going to be doing a best of 5. And I'm just going to pull up the format really quick to give you all some context on exactly what our competitors are doing here. So game 1 is pretty simple. Jaeger picked the map, Moscow Outskirts, and Rainbow Hamlet then picked their faction. They chose to play as Double Soviets. In game 2, they're going to swap. Rainbow Hamlet will pick the map and Jaeger will pick the faction. In game 3, they're going to swap game 1 factions. Jaeger will veto 2 maps. Rainbow Hamlet will then pick from the remaining maps. And then in game 4 again, they will swap the game 2 factions. Rainbow Hamlet will veto 2 maps. Jaeger will pick the map. And then if it does make it to game 5, each team will veto 2 maps. Jaeger vetoes first, and then Jaeger picks faction. So that is going to be the format for this best of 5 championship. And as you can see, we'd have the awesome new Observer Mode UI here for the championship. This is in a new patch, so things are going to be a little bit different than the rest of the Starcross Cup. I was kind of hoping to finish the Starcross Cup before this patch dropped, but unfortunately that just was not possible, so the championship's going to be kind of special in that sense. As for the game, we have Vipix going over Commando West, his teammate going Oster, Mixed Axis in the north, Stern Pioneers moving down here towards the munitions point, Volks Grenadiers following up, and he also has a Kuba wagon on its way. Zartcloud's gone with a mortar.
We have a mortar team available for deployment.
And it's moving up.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And it will be setting up next to his battle group headquarters, and this battle group headquarters positioning is actually the same as where he's been putting it in previous games. It's certainly been working well for him before. Seems to be a pretty popular spot for it, behind this shed here. So we'll see if he's able to make good use of that. Dusty's conscripts being forced to retreat away from the right side, and I'm wondering if Dusty's going to go with his standard scout car opening. It looks like he is, throwing some combat engineers inside of it this time instead of his penal battalion. But he is bringing penal battalions in now. So that's good. He finds the Kuba wagon pretty undefended, but the Kuba wagon's trying to outmaneuver him. Dusty circling around being the outside here. Not sure if it's going to get away. Volks Grenadiers are trying to move up to screen. That Kuba wagon is just outmaneuvering this scout car so well. He just can't catch up with its slightly better acceleration and everything. May have made a bit of a mistake there. Or not, and I think Dusty may actually give up this chase. Probably sees these Grenadiers moving up. Yeah, he does, and he's going to be forced to back away.
34 heavy machine guns are now available. Contact all enemy infantry!
Meanwhile, Honeynuts has gone tier 2. He is moving a Maxim up here on left. Satchel going out on the Kuba wagon. I'm not sure he's going to notice. Oh, but it got abandoned. Wow. Nice attempt. The Kuba wagon gets recrewed by some Volks Grenadiers here. And they'll be healing up. Meanwhile, conscripts making a push for the central victory point. As for map control, allies have a firm hold on the entire left side. Conscripts taking up position in the building here. Oh, he went in hard with the scout car here, but he takes 2 Fausts. And will go down. Combat engineers taking up a position behind this wall. Mortars continuing to fire away, though, making it really dangerous for anything to hold still. Grenadiers reinforcing out of the battle group headquarters as well. We actually have these Volks Grenadiers breaking suppression by hopping into the shack, but they're still taking pretty heavy damage. They're going to try and round the corner there. And we have some harassment for the fuel point over here by these Sturm Pioneers, but they're getting shot at by the combat engineers in the building. They're actually going to probably take pretty heavy damage. Maybe not. Probably be okay. Should at least be able to wipe the point. Meanwhile, we have MG34 moving up to do some map harassment here in the north. Maxim firing on Grenadiers in the center. But a mortar is falling in the area, and they're quite clumped. There's also Volksgrenadiers moving up. One mortar takes out 2 models, grenade going out. He does manage to get clear of the grenade's blast though, only losing 1 model. Conscripts moving up to merge, very nice. He's probably going to be rotating that back around. Moving flamethrowers up to support as well. Meanwhile, on the right side, combat engineers taking the cutoff. Penal's in the scout car, forcing away these pioneers. So Dusty will be able to retake the right side fuel. Fuel remaining mostly in Allied hands. And he does get the full Pioneer squad that was harassing as well. Yeah, they were not, he didn't feel quite comfortable continuing to capture that point. He was taking too much damage from the combat engineers in the house, although somewhat surprisingly, Honeynuts has not left the house to retake it. Instead, he's going to move this Maxim up to do the capturing. Oh, no, he's moving the Maxim up to take the building, I guess. While his flamethrowers take the point. More flamethrower engineers circling around the left side. Shock troops also hitting the field. Dusty's got them moving up here towards these Volksgrenadiers. And Grenadiers, there's actually not much over here in this area that can stop these shock troops. The only suppression they have is an MG34 and the Kugelwagen, neither of which is anywhere nearby. So everything's going to be forced to retreat, although another scout car does go down. Out of control.
Engineer standing by. What do you want?
Volksgrenadiers firing on the shock troops. Shock troops can't quite close the distance. They're also in red cover, but they will manage to wipe the point at the very least. Mortar fire also landing in the area. Ooh, that was a pretty nasty one. Kugelwagen also makes its way up. And the shock troops will finally be forced to retreat. They certainly had a good impact, forcing away all of Zarklad's forces. Honeynuts moving up here. Oh, he gets an AT grenade off on that Kugelwagen, just barely. Couldn't reposition it in time, and they don't get a lucky death crit that time. It does go out of control. Will be taken down.
Crew, stand ready. Taking fire. Panzer HQ here.
Sure, Panzer headquarters going up quite nearby to the battle group headquarters, and that's going to be protecting not much. Pretty much just in a defensive position to defend the battle group headquarters, not placing it anywhere where it could potentially defend any territory. It's a very conservative use of that there, but of course at the same time that makes it rather difficult to destroy. But the Allies continue to maintain their extremely firm hold on pretty much the entire map. Oh, mortars continuing to land here in the center.
Heavy machine gun team prepared for enemy forces capturing supply sector.
These conscripts are probably going to be forced away soon. Ooh, nice grenade on those Grenadiers. Very nearly wiping out that Grenadier squad, but they survived by a hair. Shock troops going to be forced away on the right side again. More harassment continuing by combat engineers, and of course, combat engineers harassing can be a very dangerous thing. Nice use of the Minesweeper to harass here by Zarkloud, though. He will spot that demo charge. And looks like Dusty detonated that before his opponent would be able to defuse. Fortunately, inflicted only one casualty.
Ground secure. Fire
Wouldn't be surprised to see more demo charges going down over here, but Dusty may decide it's not worth the munitions now that he knows his opponent is going to be utilizing a minesweeper. Conscripts firing on Grenadiers over here. MG34 is also being set up in the area, and Dusty's Penals walk right into the arc of fire. Meanwhile, in the center, Honeynuts continues to try and take Central Victory Point. Flamethrower Engineers being forced to retreat. Maxim being set up over here as well. Some light harassment happening over here by Obersoldaten as well, taking the Northern Victory Point, or Strategic Point, I should say. And it looks like he's not going to be able to grab the Central Victory Point, and we'll have to retreat. Stern Pioneers in the area going to contest the zone. Shock troops moving up. Grenade going out on that MG34, wiping quite a few models. Grenadiers doing pretty good damage to those conscripts in turn. We also have some combat engineers moving up, but looks like it's just not going to be enough. Dusty wasn't quite able to punch through. But the harassment has certainly been good. Mines going down over here. We also have Grenadiers making their way down.
Grenadier squad at full strength.
Trying to circle around, do some kind of flank, I guess.
Position upgrade ready.
Oh.
Yes, comrade. Enemy contact.
Oh, nice demo charge right there, wiping out that Grenadier squad, but at the same time, this Maxim was not able to escape, gets taken out by the looks. Grenadiers on the flank, but a T-34 is hitting the field. There are two Panzerschrecks in the area to deter it. Not sure if that's going to be enough to convince it not to chase down that looks, though. The Grenadiers with their Faust are probably the scariest thing in the area, because if he were to get his engine damaged in front of this pack, that would probably be a dead T-34, so he does have to be rather careful how he uses it, but I'm sure that he wants to take out that looks if at all possible. Pack is set up in red cover, it's taking a bit of damage. Probably isn't going to go down to just combat engineers and conscripts, though, and the T-34 is going to be forced to reposition out of its arc of fire. Meanwhile, harassment over here on the right side going back towards the Allies. Shock troops managed to chase away whatever was over here. Munitions falling to Dusty's Penals. Honeynuts shock troops grabbing the Southeast Victory Point. So that does mean that they've both chosen a shock troop doctrine. We have shock motor from Dusty and shock rifle from Honeynuts, so it's going to be a lot of shock troops. Meanwhile, Vipix has chosen fortifications, which you can see from his MG34s. Possibly going to be thinking about throwing down some other defenses or a pack 43 or something like that, and Zarcloud has yet to actually choose his doctrine.
Upgraded. Medium armor and rocket artillery is now available. Enemy fire!
Shock troops moving up. Oh, nice dodge. Nice dodge of that grenade. The shock troop grenade does have quite a short fuse, quite dangerous. T-34 moving up to try and take shots, but those Panzerschrecks are making it dangerous. Ooh, Katyusha barrage going off here, hitting that MG34, forcing it to reposition towards this half-track. Zarcloud does love to produce half-tracks. We've seen that in, I think, almost every single game this tournament from him. So he's going to be using that as a forward reinforced position, despite Vipix having a battle group headquarters nearby. He really likes having the extra that extra reinforced point available to him. Honey Nut shock troops moving up. They do encounter these grenadiers, and he simply retreats. He's getting focused down too fast. Plus, Dark Cloud's half-track was moving up to support anyway. May not have been able to win that. Still, both fuel points in Allied hands. The Axis have secured both cutoffs. Of course, only one of the cutoffs actually cuts the Allies off.
We are losing a sector.
Looks chasing away. Ooh, chasing away those combat engineers, and their flamethrower explodes. Looks like they will get away though, as the Looks doesn't want to chase, knowing that there's a T-34 in the area. Meanwhile, over here, half-track pulling away. Looks like mines are getting swept up here in the north. Nice play by Vipix. Oh, jeez. Dusty moving up here with his shock troops. There goes the demo charge, destroying that MG-34. I'm not sure he's watching his minesweepers either. The shock troops are suppressed, but if he doesn't turn and fire on the shock troops, they'll unsuppress. Yep. There they went. Dusty might be busy microwaving a fight here in the center, though, trying to keep his shocks alive against this Lux. Queenl's also taking heavy damage. Oh, geez, he needs to retreat those. Shock troops moving up to harass another minesweeper squad up here. This minesweeper squad moving down towards the middle. Katyusha barrage firing. Looks like it, ooh, got some nice hits right here, clearing that mortar. I think it also inflicted some kills on those Obers. Ouch. Fortunately, none of the medics died, so they will be able to continue healing. And it looks like an attempt to capture this point also failed. Looks circling back around the north. Shock troops should get away though, looks like. T-34 moving up. Ooh, high explosive rush from the Zeus forces away the Obers. The Lux continues to circle around hunting. It's got 19 kills already. It's doing a really good job against these shock troops. Definitely a solid choice. Leaves the Allies with not much that can scare it off except for the T-34, but the T-34 isn't really having a lot of luck getting in there and dealing heavy damage. Ooh, nice grenade. Catches the Grenadiers on the retreat, wiping the squad. Very well placed grenade by Dusty there. Perfect. T-34 gets hit by the pack and has to pull away. Yeah, T-34 just hasn't done anything this game. It's got 3 kills. Still hasn't hit Vet 1. It's having a lot of trouble punishing that Lux. Harassment over here on the left. Grenade going out. Doesn't really do anything. Shock troops will force away that squad, and they will secure their hold on the right side fuel, or left side fuel. Right side fuel is going to these conscripts, and the cutoff is falling to these grenadiers. So, Allies have not necessarily maintained control of the fuels all that well this game, but the Axis have had almost no fuel income for the entire game at all. Katyusha barrage going off. Looks like he may have fired that blind because he didn't really hit much. Dusty, if you take a look at Dusty and Honey Nuts' resources, both have about 250 fuel in the bank, trying to survive on nothing but shock troops for about 20 minutes, which has been difficult for them. Actually, that's not true. They have purchased a T-34. Oh no! He catches the half-track way out of position, and the pack has been decrewed. Oh no, that is not good news for Dark Cloud. Finally, the T-34 found an opening. Pretty much everything was forced to retreat or killed. Meanwhile, on the right side, Minesweeper getting pushed away. As this gun gets cleared out by those Obersoldaten, T-34 trying to move up to punish them for that. Oh, pretty good shot. Panzerschreck moves up, misses its shot. Oh, what was that though? That was the Pak-43. So there's that fortifications doctrine Pak-43 going up. This is going to be prime Katyusha fodder. But I think that that should, at the very least, help to deter pushes by that by the ISU-152, which is almost certainly going to. Yep, there it is. It's already hit the field. 20 minutes, 30 seconds ISU. That is pretty quick. That is a pretty quick ISU because they've had such good fuel control the entire game. I'm not sure what Honey Nuts is thinking about doing. Probably an IS-2. But if they both invest really heavily on heavy tanks, then they may find it difficult to overwhelm this Pak-43 defensive position. Of course, there's lots of room for flanks on this map, so who knows what might happen. Panzer IV hitting the field from Zark Cloud, going with his standard build of half-track into Panzer IV, making heavy use of Tier 2 and Tier 3. So that's always fun. Katyusha barrage firing on this Upper Commando West blob, but it looks like it was aimed a little long. Oh! There was the opening ISU-152 shot, wiping an entire Obersoldaten squad as soon as it hits the field. Ouch. And this patch had plans to change the way the ISU-152 worked. They were going to make it fire manually, but they decided that that was too cumbersome a solution. So they haven't really changed it at all. Unfortunately. The ISU-152 is still going to be a very powerful unit. I would be really hesitant to clump up my Volksgrenadiers like that after what just happened to my Obersoldaten, but I guess we'll see what happens. The ISU did have to pull away from the Pak-43. In fact, it's quite out of position right now.
Combat unit ready.
Looks continuing to terrorize here in the middle. Up to 26 kills now. ISU-152 circling back up. These two anti-tank weapons are kind of oddly positioned. Oh, devastating shot on that Panzer IV from the ISU. Panzerschrecks are firing. Oh, is this shot actually just abandoned the Panzer IV? And it's not even got engine damage. I think that Dusty's going to be able to recover that. And there's nothing Zark Cloud can do. He's trying to get in range for a Faust, but he's just going to get kited all day. Potentially even lose these full squads to ISU fire. Oh, geez, that is devastating. That Panzer IV was not a tank that they could afford to give away. I don't know if they're going to be able to come back from that happening. At the very least, it's going to be off the field for some time. But that's definitely going to bolster the Allied medium armor stockpile, in the sense that it will make it much easier to overwhelm this defensive position, especially if they take advantage of the Pak-43 being decrewed by a lucky or well-placed Katyusha barrage. That is bad news for Vipix and Zark Cloud. Squad wipe by this IS-2, making a pretty grand entrance, catching those Obersoldaten in a pretty nasty position. Pak-43 does get rotated to fire on the IS-2. Looks firing on these infantry that are moving up here. Pak-43's range ends right about here, so his IS-2 should be relatively safe, and those conscripts are actually going to recover the MG-34, which is going to make them about 10 times as deadly as they once were. Looks like we have a bomb run coming in. And there goes the Pak-43, it stood no chance. It's been utterly destroyed, which means that there's not much preventing an IS-2, two medium tanks, an ISU-152 from just steamrolling everything that's left. There is a Jagdpanzer which, I mean, that's a deterrent, but it can't do much. Not against all this stuff. There's just too much stuff to contend with. 2 Katyushas now, by the way, as well. One of which does have concentrated barrage. The other one about halfway to Vet 1. ISU pushing forward. Katyusha dealing massive damage in the area. Already this battle group headquarters has fallen to like half. And they're really struggling to keep everything repaired with just 1 Sturm Pioneer squad, especially when taking casualties like that under Sturm Pioneer, under Katyusha fire. Another truck is moving up, apparently. T-34 spots the looks, but the Jagdpanzer is quickly moving to deter it. ISU 152 pulling up from the other direction, trying to take shots on targets of opportunity. But it is going to pull back, try to get to safety. Meanwhile, over here, the IS-2 is preventing any attempt at harassment on the cutoff. Volks Grenadiers grabbing the munitions point. And the Panzer IV has been repaired. It's moving up to take shots on the Jagdpanzer, but none of the shots penetrate. ISU shot also fails to penetrate. Miss. But every one of those shots has the potential to wipe an entire squad. Looks like an incendiary barrage incendiary artillery got dropped on the battle group headquarters to clear out infantry. ISU firing on grenadiers, attempting to counter-harass the middle. Combat engineers will be able to maintain the central victory point. Victory points are going to start getting pretty out of control for the Axis here, I think. They are harassing the right side VP with some minesweepers, though. So they can at least slow the clock, but the Allies have quite a victory point advantage, and I feel that it's only going to get more severe. We do have another PaK-43 going up, but I mean, Dusty already has the munitions for another precision bombing strike, so that's not going to last. But I guess he feels he has no choice. He has to build something to keep all of the Allied heavy tanks away from his defensive line. Once it breaks, they're pretty much going to lose the game. Panzer IV coming in. Concentrated barrage on the PaK. Completely clears it out. Nice use of concentrated barrage. We also have a bombing run coming in on the Schwer Panzer headquarters, destroying it entirely. IS-2 pushing in with the... Oh, geez, with the Panzer IV, and the Jagdpanzer also goes down. IS-2 takes out the remaining Sturm Pioneers over here, and that's going to conclude the game. Vivix and Zarcloud surrendering, so the NA champions, Dusty and Honeynuts, will win Game 1. And without further ado, they probably have even already started Game 2, so we're going to jump into that right away. Final chance to donate to the winners. Do take a moment to do that. The prize pool is currently $200. $200 to each of the winners, in addition to their free copy of Ardennes Assault. So please do donate. Oh, special welcome to executive producer Greg Wilson, showing up to watch the championship. That's always exciting. Hi, Greg. Yes, Empire's Corrupted is live. It's probably, you know, by the time you see it on the screen, it's probably a minute or two behind, because they start the game, and then I have to load up the game, and then there's also the delay between me and Twitch, so it's not, you know, it's not like super live, but it's about as close to live as you can get. It's probably better, though, that I'm at least, you know, maybe 60 or 90 seconds behind, because if they want to listen to my commentary as they're playing the game, they're going to hear me say things like, oh, there's a demo charge, or there's, you know, a mine right there, or something like that, so it's probably for the best. And now we're just waiting for them to start their next game. Somebody asked for the bracket. I will provide both of them, sure. This is the NA bracket, and this is the EU bracket. And currently you are watching the champions from both of these brackets fight against each other. Yes, donate right now.